Hey YouTube family, for those of you that are new to me, I'm Dr. Nicolya and I'm a personal development coach teaching busy women to conquer their chaos and accomplish their goals. And one thing that I'm specifically passionate about is teaching women to take their message and turn it into their masterpiece. And so I run into people all the time who have powerful testimonies and stories or even creative ideas that they want to turn into a story. And my goal is to go hand in hand with these women and walk them through the process of writing their books. Now, I've had the privilege to work with tons of women, a few men, and my two daughters. And so recently I took my daughters as they became authors this past year. I took them to a local book expo in Dayton, Ohio, where we were featured in a local magazine. And the feature title was Keeping It in the Family. And I loved that title because so many people were asking me, like, how do you keep this in the family? How did you make this a family goal? And I personally just want to say that when I wrote my book, I didn't even really believe in myself, but I believe that my daughters watched me walk through the process. And as they watched me walk through the process and go through the ups and the downs and the highs and the lows, they were able to conceptualize that this was a goal that they could accomplish as well. And so they believed in themselves in ways that I can't even put into words. And it was so inspiring because it just made me believe in them that much more as their parent. And so I walked them through the process, and it was a very interesting process. And so a lot of times I will have people come up to me and they'll ask me, how did you help your daughters write a book? How did you help them take their idea or something and turn it into this published masterpiece? And while I'd like to say that it was very similar to helping women, it was a little different because kids need a lot of guidance and direction and support. And so I have created a program, which I will label below. I'll put in the description below so that you can reference it, where I teach other children how to write books and kind of walk through the process. But today I want to really speak to the parent or the caregiver in you. If you have a child in your life who desires to accomplish what a goal may look like, your responsibility in that process is to be able to support them, is to be able to encourage them. I read a meme recently that said, believe in your children more than you can imagine, so much so that people think you're crazy, and then believe in them a little bit more. And that's a model that I live by. I tell my children all the time that you can do anything that you set your mind to. And when I tell my girls that, I mean it. I don't say it as a cliche because I'm their parent and that's my responsibility to say it. But I say it because I believe it. And the thing is, children's brains are like sponges. And so they take in any amount of information that they can possibly take in. And so all of the things around them are shaping and molding their brain. And so when you're speaking life into them and giving them positive affirmations and encouraging them and inspiring them, that's what their brain is being molded to respond to, right? And so as they're older, they will have those skills and those strategies in place to be able to accomplish those things that they believe that they will accomplish, right? The world is going to give us enough second guessing and enough reasons to not believe in ourselves. And so here at home, my goal is to make sure that I'm giving them reasons to believe in themselves if I don't do anything else. And so I tell people all the time, like, my goal as a parent is to inspire my children so much so that they know that they can do anything, so that they can do anything, right? It seems really simple, but sometimes it can be difficult. And so I think back to the process of writing my oldest daughter's book. It's a 52-week devotional, Christian devotional for children. And while I knew that this was a huge goal, she was believing in it. So we set out to write this book. And I remember about maybe a fourth of the way through, she was like, maybe we should just stop here. I'm kind of wondering what else I should add, or I'm running out of ideas. And instead of being like, yep, we should stop here, I pushed her and I reminded her, like, hey, this was your goal. How can we get to this point in this process? How can we get here? What can I do to support you? And I literally sat down and supported her. So if that took me helping write devotionals, if that took me editing, if that took me picking out Bible verses that she could use for a devotional and us processing it together so that we could put it in the book, I was willing to do it all. And truth be told, I did, to be able to support that process. Same thing with my younger daughter. She published a book at 4. Now, 4-year-olds can't sit up and write a 20-page children's book and draw out ideas, but I took all of her ideas and I was able to implement them. So what do you think the picture should look like with this page? What do you think the character looks like? How do you think she felt? How can we show the readers that she felt that way? That sort of thing. And so I'm engaging her in that conversation so that she can develop that book. And as my children are continuing to grow and continuing to go through the educational system, I'm watching those skills that I taught them being implemented in other activities. They're asking themselves questions, they're reflecting. But that's the importance of the parental or caregiver role in your life, is to just go hand in hand with your children and walk them through the process. It's so important. And I'll be honest, it's not always easy because we have a lot of other things and a lot of other hats that we're wearing or things that we're wanting to do. But we have to prioritize our children in the same way we would prioritize our job or other things that are of utmost importance to us. And so when I had the question on the podcast I was featured to, like, how do you inspire your children? And it's just that I speak to them, that I encourage them, that I speak life into them. One of the things that we've recently started is morning affirmations, where we go through the process. I am beautiful. I am smart. I am successful. I am accomplished. Those sort of things. And we go through that. Not only do we just say those, right? We talk about what each of those have, what they mean to us, what those look like, because I want to create those skills now while they're young, so that when they're older, they're able to implement them with ease. And so now that they've learned how to walk through the book writing process, they could take those skills and strategies and write several more books. Or they could take those skills and strategies and apply their learning lessons into creating a business or creating something different just because of their experience. And so as you're thinking of walking through this process with your children, you have to understand that you can't let your children take a goal and go sit in isolation and implement the goal. Because even as adults, we can't do that. Sometimes even with strategy, we can't. But just giving them that support from you and from coaches and mentors around them to help them to get to that ultimate goal of success. And so I just want to encourage you parents, as you guys are out supporting your children in various goals, or those of you that have reached out to me in the past and asked, how can I help my children write a book? I am here to help. I'm happy to help. But don't discount your role in the process of being able to support your children along that journey. So again, I am going to link below the Kids Are Writers program that my daughters and I created together to walk you guys through the process of writing and publishing and prospering off of your book. I will link that below. But as always, remember the role of your responsibility in your children's lives as they work through those goals. So as always, continue with clarity, and I will chat with you guys later. Bye.